We have the story from the New York Post. NBC freelance reporter ripped for linking Nashville shooting to Ben Shapiro and the Daily Wire.
So insane.
He deleted it, but Benjamin Ryan tweeted, NBC has ID'd the Nashville shooter as Audrey Hale, 28, who identifies as transgender and had no previous criminal record. Nashville is home to the Daily Wire, a hub of anti-trans activity by Matt Walsh blog, Ben Shapiro, and Michael J. Knowles. Journalists. That's what they call themselves. They look, I just don't see, I think a lot of conservatives think this country is still unified. And they're shocked that journalists would do these things.
There was just a thing in the New York Post about how that patriotism in this country is the lowest it's been in the entire history of this country. Patriotism and love of country have never been lower.
But what I'm saying is, I think conservatives still believe there are rules. They think there are rules, and they demand you play by them. Mm-hmm. And these people are going, okay, I'll take the tweet down. I'll just not get caught next time. Mm-hmm. So while we keep trying to play this game of, can you believe these institutions would say such a thing? I demand a retraction. They're sitting in their room laughing, being like, these morons are still playing by the rules while no one else is.
Also, nobody sees the retraction anyways. And nobody ever
a little
sees
bit. They make money off it.
But in general, you post the article first, you get the rage out of it, you retract it later when all of that's passed through, and maybe a quarter of the people that saw the initial one see the.
But it's good for them.
One.
That's just clickbait. It's all about the headlines.
Look,
they put all kinds of false narratives in, even if they clear it up in the last final fifth paragraph of it. It's so disgusting and dishonest. It's reprehensible to me.
A fake
people
article.
Aren't journalists. They're propagandists.
A fake article will get 1 million views. Mm-hmm. And then a week later, the retraction will get another 50,000. Exactly. That's 1,050,000 views for their bottom line. It's all ad revenue.
Did you say this article got taken down?
No. His tweet. He deleted it.
And they make those, and they post those articles knowing they will likely have to post a retraction later, knowing that if you're a propagandist, you got your word out there initially. Sure, you have to retract it later. Sure, maybe a quarter of the people see that, but that's another, that's the rest that didn't.
Who gets the win?
Exactly.
But they get the win.
By numbers, they get the win.
Think about what this tweet really means, though. Of course, this reporter is trying to frame it in a certain way and link them. But I'll put it this way. If Ben Shapiro, Matt Walsh, Michael Knowles, the Daily Wire, are saying this is bad, this is dangerous, and we need to do something about it, and then a trans person goes and shoots up a church and school, doesn't that prove the Daily Wire correct? That we need to pay attention to what's going on? We need to help these people and prevent these tragedies from happening?
No, you shift the narrative and make it about gun control and say that people shouldn't own guns, and then immediately people forget.
But
I think
the real answer is yes. Yes, we should. It does prove that there's a big problem right now with drugging up people.
I think the gun control narrative is a useful tool for Democrats because it gives you a never-ending problem. Something that can never be solved. 3D printed guns exist. And what ends up happening is the Democrats come out and they say, we're gonna solve this problem. And then they ban some weird random thing completely unrelated to anything. Yeah. Then they say, we did it. Did anyone, I saw someone talking about how there recently was gun control legislation just signed by Joe Biden. Plus we had the ATF rule. Did these things matter at all? They're talking about how one of the weapons, it was two AR-15s and a handgun. Right. But I'm pretty sure, I could be wrong. You guys in the chat correct me. Pretty sure one of the weapons used by the shooter was an AR-style 9mm rifle. So it's not like a 5.56 or anything like that.
Yeah. It's an assault-style rifle. Assault-style, which means nothing.
Right. And it is really annoying how everyone, the Post-Millennial and the New York Post, are calling them assault rifles when they're not.
AR style means
Armalite rifle style. Semantics every single day. That's what they do. They use these buzzwords. They're like, okay, we're going to trigger everybody with this. We're going to say it, and they know it. Words matter, and they use these words to alarm and to stigmatize people and create a whole panic situation. And like 99% of the people out there that are doing this whole total hysteria, even Nancy Pelosi came back from the dead to make a comment about this, like freak show, Tales of the Crypt. And yeah.
Hey.
I don't know. I was related to her.
There you go.
My aunt.
Talk about that.
Gavin Newsom.
Nice.
Thanksgiving. Nice.
Wow.
But I call out the nonsense. I don't like people who are dishonest. They don't tell the truth. They're saying something to achieve their ideological agenda, their objective, and they will do it at any cost. They don't care if they're sitting there, telling a lie to the public. Everything is a disinformation, campaign. It's massive propaganda. And by the time we figure everything out, you're literally whatever, or there's a retraction, or we actually find out like Twitter files or whatever, the damage is done. Nothing to see here, folks.
And nobody sees it. Like, I had to tell my dad about the Twitter files and explain to him, like, just how big of a deal.
And this happened.
Yeah, like, you have to explain to them how big of a deal something like this is, because
and then when rated him.
And most of the culture, whether, not just boomers, but a lot of people still, they put that faith in legacy media and in what they believe to be pure truth, or why would they lie?
Right.
Not understanding that for-profit media like that it's baked into the business model to lie.
It's 1,000%, but it's also incentivized because it works. It actually creates profit because they get people clickbait to click on it, and that's it. They don't care if they have to retract it later.
Was it like
There's
that
no consequence.
in the early
days?
It's
way, way worse now.
When did it shift?
We had kind of mentioned this before, but like when you went through, I think 2016 election, because of the whole Trump derangement syndrome and all the insanity that people like flipped out about that. Then we went into 2020 election, everything that transpired there. Then it was the lockdowns, with the pandemic leading up to 2020. People all at home, newsrooms changed. No one was in the same room like we are right now today going over stuff. And then you had a lot, quite frankly, of the young people out there that were working in some of these jobs, et cetera, and like a very vocal minority talking about how this made them feel or that made them feel, or, they were upset. Remember the Tom Cotton stuff in the New York Times and the editorial? And then everybody was rioting at the New York Times saying, we were so disgusted to work for this news organization. How dare you put this, opinion article up that he had. And it became that whole thing. And it really developed the perfect cocktail of the groupthink. And that's what's sort of taken over. It's just like a complete, sort of like a parasite takes over, right? You have a host and you take it over. That's what's happened now in terms of the thinking.
Just want a quick correction while we're still in this segment. People are mentioning it. The weapon used was a Kel-Tec sub 2000 carbine 9mm variant.
Yeah.
So important distinction.
So you're saying that a lot of this disruption in media and I don't know, crackery or whatever you want to call it, this breaking of the narrative is because the newsrooms are diffused? You're no longer in person working together?
I think it's one of the ingredients to the chaos cocktail, where it's like you have that, you had the pandemic, people not together, and to be quite frank, like just all the response, like Donald Trump and what he did, and being an outsider and someone coming in that wasn't part of that political, establishment, right? But to be fair, you saw the same thing. They didn't like it. They stole from, Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders was not part of the establishment. They wanted, Hillary Clinton, anybody, but Trump, someone that they could establish. So when you actually see, they're very similar, the two sides. They mirror each other in the establishment, the way they want to control people and the way you think. And if you're not someone that beats to that drum or plays inside that system, you're an agent of chaos, and they will do whatever it takes to destroy you.
Bernie bent the knee and shifted his policy positions. I just think there's no moral character there.
I think there's no moral character there. He actually stood and believed in something, and then he showed himself to be, sort of a false prophet, not someone who actually stood for his principles and what he believed in. He also, essentially let the DNC and everyone take the nomination from him and gave it over to Hillary Clinton.
Or Joe Biden.
Well,
they had
both.
They had all the moderates drop out at the same time and then endorse Joe. And then surprise,
That's called collusion.
They get offered those cushy jobs.
Right.
You know what I bet? I bet they went to Buttigieg and said, "Look, we'll make you transportation. We'll give you some do nothing job. I don't know, something like transportation secretary."
1,000%.
And then he's like, "All right, works for me." And then, now he's got to work. That's why he's nowhere to be seen. That's why he's not doing his job.
Right.
So that's why there's all those train derailments.
Yeah, probably.
The deals were cut, but that's exactly how it works. It's establishment, whether it's in left or I know. I spent years being like a front row seat to, leftist, liberal, Democrat agenda, even though I was a Republican. I guess I was like a sleeper cell in there. And then I went on this side and I see it. So I see what the two extremes are like and what they want to put together. And they're not that different in terms of wanting to be able to control the people within the party. They're going to play the party game and not buck the system or the establishment.
I don't trust either side.
But that's what I'm saying.
I don't trust Fox News any more than I trust CNN or MSNBC.
I'm not telling you should. I'm not
Tucker
telling
Carlson's
you should.
pretty good.
I do love Tucker.
Yeah, Tucker's pretty good. Everybody
I
else,
love Tucker, and I love my team on the 5.
Greg is good. Gutfeld.
He's fantastic.
Yeah, he's fantastic.
They're very good. The 5 is very good, except for the
especially Juan Williams.
But the 5 is also
the weirdos.
In the early days, people could tell me I was like Juan Williams. I don't know who he is.
Yeah, that's a trigger word.
That's
for me.
funny. Were you on that show?
Yes, of course. I helped. I co-hosted the 5. And Juan Williams. Don't even get me started.
I can't stand the guy, but I really do like that he's on the show.
Yeah, well, they have put him on every once in a while now. He's sort of like, because, whatever.
Does the dude even have Google, is my question.
I don't know, but he doesn't really care, because I would say, where are you getting that? What are you saying? And he was just like super angry and just had all this vitriol about stuff. And I was like, have you even met this person? Do you even know what you're talking about? And like, look me in the eye when you're talking to me. Whatever. I liked Bob Beckel. Because he would say, and I go, Bob, what the hell? I go, where are you getting that? I go, you just made that up. He goes, yeah, so? Hey, what do I care? Because he like ran Mondale's, like he got like he won one state. He goes, and I had to pay for it.
Wow. Thanks for watching this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. Hang out with us live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. and become a member over at timcast.com for uncensored, members-only shows exclusive. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all next time.